Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadaki Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Saganadagananvitam Tam Saptaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagan Lalita Shri Shakam Amsha He Krishna Karuna Siddhi Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विशाखानुसुते प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च वासुदेवैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे विशेष शून्यवादी पाशदेशतन श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So welcome to Saturday lecture daily Bhagavatam discussion. So I have a good opportunity of speaking on these prayers of Brahma. So let me share my screen. So today we will be discussing on third canto, 9th chapter, shloka number 40. So yeah, 40 and 41. So both we will be covering. Yeah. Okay. So let me just start. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ya etena pumam nityam tutva shrotena mambajet tasya yasyo samprasidhyam sarvakama vareshwaraham. Let me read the word to word meaning. Yaha, anyone, etena, by this, human being, nityam, regularly, stutva, praying, shrotena, by the verses, mam, me, bhajet, may worship, tasya, his, ashu, very soon, samprasiddhayam, I shall fulfill, sarvaha, all, kamaha, desires, varaha, ishvaraha, the Lord of all benediction, Varaha Ishvara. Any human being, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Jai Shri Prabhupada. Any human being who prays like Brahma and who thus worships me shall very soon be blessed with the fulfillment of all his desires. For I am the Lord of all benediction. The prayers offered by Brahma cannot be chanted by anyone who desires to fulfill his own sense gratification. Such prayers can be selected only by a person who wants to satisfy the Lord in his service. The Lord certainly fulfills all the desires in regard to transcendental loving service, but he cannot fulfill the whims of a non devotee, even when such casual devotees offers him the best of prayers. Yeah, so we will go to the next verse also. Yeah. Urtena tapasya yajnair daner yoga samasiddhina radamni rishayam pumsan matprittistatvi mataha matam putrena tapasya yajnair daner yoga samasiddhina radamni श्रेयासम पुंसम मत्प्रीतैस्तत्व तत्त्वविन् मातम पूर्तेनः by the traditional work, tapasya by penance, yajna by sacrifices, dana by charities, yoga by mystic, samasiddhina by trance, radam success, nishreyasam ultimately beneficial, umsam of the human being, mat of me, priti satisfaction, tattva with expert transcendentalist, matam opinion. It is opinion of expert transcendentalist that the ultimate goal of performing all traditional good works, penance, sacrifices, charities, mystic activities, trance, etc., is to invoke my satisfaction. There are many traditional pious activities in the human society, such as altruism, philanthropy, nationalism, internationalism, charity, sacrifice, penance, and even meditation in trance. All of them can be fully beneficial only when they lead to the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The perfection of any activity, social, political, religious, or philanthropic, is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. This is a secret of success, is known the devotee of the Lord, as explained, exemplified by Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. As a good non-violent man, Arjuna did not want to fight with his kingsmen. But when he understood that that the Krishna wanted the fight and had arranged it at Kurukshetra, he gave up his own satisfaction and fought for the satisfaction of the Lord. That is the right decision for all intelligent men. One only concern should be to satisfy the Lord by one's activities. If the Lord is satisfied by an action, whatever it may be, then it is successful. Otherwise, it is simply waste of times. Shrama evai kevala. That is the standard of all sacrifice, penance, austerity, mystic trance, and other good and pious work. So we will start a discussion. We will speak about this. Yeah. So first we will try to understand. Yeah. So here, what is the context? Very briefly, we will try to see because we are having these sessions daily, just for our reference. So here, what is happening is Lord Brahma is praying hmm, to Lord Vishnu. Actually, Lord Brahma, when he's born, so he's born from the navel of the uh, al- uh, he's born in the lotus, which is from the navel of the Garbhodakshi Vishnu, and he does not know anything, and then he tries to find himself what is he, where he has come from, and then finally he hears the word tapaha, then he does a meditation, and after this thing, finally he gets the blessing of Lord. the Lord comes in his heart, and kind of he gets a darshan of the Lord, and then he does a prayers. So also we were discussing like earlier also, this is a kind of a prayer before creation. The Brahma prays so that he can properly create. And whom is he praying? He's praying to Garbhodakshi Vishnu. Okay, because we have a different Vishnu, like from Garbhodakshi Vishnu comes Kshirodakshi Vishnu, and each of the universes there will be one Garbhodakshi Vishnu, and they all come from Karanodakshi Vishnu, or uh, the Vishnu who is from whose pores all the universes come. So from that is a Karanodakshi Vishnu, and from the each universe again he expands himself as a Garbhodakshi Vishnu. Yeah, and then Lord Brahma is praying. So it is earlier we were seeing how the structure of prayer is there, but it is also very important. Like one of the lecture which I was hearing, like the prayer in the right mood is also very important. The prayer is not correct, then it can be it might not be useful. For example, this Mayavadis, their understanding of what they say, everything is Maya. Lord is also covered under Maya, and what they say is Lord Vishnu is kind of in mode of goodness. So that is what they think, but it is not correct. Lord is in the Sachidanand, so he is above these three modes. Okay, so that we have to understand. So if you pray wrong, also that is that is not correct. Mm, Yeah, yeah. So we see how this prayer is one of the, yeah, correct. What you say? The prayer is one of the process. There are 9 processes of devotional service. Navavedi Bhakti. Out of that, the prayer is one of them, and it is quite important. Prayer is quite important part of the devotional service. Yeah, yeah. So here, yeah, we we remember from Srimad Bhagavatam, and there are nice prayers, and some of the nice personalities also who pray. For example, whenever we think of prayers, some 2 3 this thing comes into our mind, like Kunti Maharani's prayers are there, Vishnudev's prayers are there, and among them Brahma's prayer is the most kind of because our Sampradaya Acharya is the Sampradaya, the founder is a Brahma. We come in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Brahma is the one of the other prayer which is very important prayer by Lord Brahma is of uh, which we usually decide Brahma Samhita, or the prayers by Lord Brahma. So where he's Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigra Nadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana. And, so that is kind of importance of Lord Brahma's prayer. And also we see there are other for example, Akrura's prayers also is given a lot of importance, or we take Akrura's prayers as an example. Akrura perfected himself by praying. Just by praying, he kind of for example of prayers we usually quote Akrura. And then other people who also we remember are Dhruv Maharaj. So Dhruv Maharaj was a small boy of the age of 5 to 6 years, and when he saw the Lord, he was not able to kind of exactly pray. And then what the Lord do? Lord puts his conscience on the head of or touches his conscience with to the head of Dhruv Maharaj, and then Dhruv Maharaj prays very nice, nicely. He very poetically and eloquently he prays to the Lord. So that is So from this we understand this intelligence to pray. So that also comes from Krishna. Krishna gives the intelligence, or Krishna gives remembrance. Guru, what do we say? Uh, Mukam karute vachalang pangolangaite yat kripatamam vande Shri Guru Dinataranam. So the mercy of Guru and mercy of Krishna, by which we get everything. Even to pray, we get the blessings by the blessing of Krishna himself only. or by the blessing of Guru, we can nicely pray. Or even for praying, uh, it is only by the mercy of the Lord. So if the mercy of the Lord is there, even the layman can very nicely pray, So we can see. Similarly, even Prahlad Maharaj, when the Prahlad Maharaj, the Nursing Dev's pastime is there, and nobody is able to go in front of the Lord Nursing Dev. Finally, they, push what is it? Prahlad Maharaj. And then Prahlad Maharaj he's also like, small boy, and Lord is so happy seeing, Prahlad Maharaj. And then, Prahlad Maharaj prays so nicely. He says, yeah, I'm feeling ashamed, basically, And there are so big demigods like Brahma and Shiva and all those are there. I'm just, born Asura, in the family of Asura, and I am praying in front of all those. Yeah. So we understand, the blessing of the by blessing of the Lord, the we can pray nicely. And also, it is important. For example, imagine if there is a chief minister of a state is there, okay, and we call him as like, what is it, uh, kind of a mayor. Like, for example, if somebody doesn't know the position of Krishna, or somebody does not know the position of a chief minister, and for example, he just knows mayor, or like if somebody big IG, yeah, Inspector General of Police comes, and the person, he does not know anything more than the constable, and he calls him as a kind of police constable, but this person might be thinking, he's doing nice prayer, but it is not a prayer, for example, because if you tell the chief minister as a mayor, or you tell inspector general as a, what is it, if you tell him as a, what is it, constable, so that is kind of a offense. So similarly, these mayavadis, they think a Lord as a, in the mode of goodness, and if they pray also, then it is kind of offense only. So that is the reason Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, mayavadi bhashyasune hove sarvanash. Similarly, so prayer has to be in the correct consciousness, or in the correct uh, what to say, mood. It should be in the correct mood. So that is the reason devotees usually try to uh, pray on the lines of the big acharyas, or senior devotees, or who has like, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, nice prayers are there. The same prayers devotees prefer to, or devotees usually recite. So examples of nice prayers which we usually recite is, one of the best prayer which we usually recite daily is the prayer which is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sistastikam. So this is one of the important prayer which we daily recite. So the 8 verses which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given. So that is one of the important prayer which we daily recite. And another important prayer which I can think of, which we usually daily recite is Narottam Das Thakur, which he has written. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Daya Karo More Tumabina, Ke Dayalu, Jagat Samsare. So that is also very nice prayer. So we usually recite these prayers which come in the parampara, and which is, bona fide prayers. Because, for example, if you call uh, chief minister as mayor, because we don't know the complete knowledge, and even though we are thinking we are glorifying him, and since we don't know his exact position, if a neophyte devotee, or like, in case of a mayavadi, or they don't know the exact position of the Lord, and we try to put it, then it kind of a more of a becomes a not exactly pleasing the Lord. So how also we pray, there is also a structure, like, usually there are 3 parts in the prayer. The first part is like, you kind of glorify the Lord. Yeah, there are 3 parts. Usually, whenever we see the Lord, we, kind of offer the prayers to the Lord. Yeah, first one is, yeah, glorifying the Lord. Then, humbling ourselves, like, how, what is your position, my Lord, and what is my position, kind of. Similarly, in this prayer of Brahma also, we can see how Brahma, first he has to glorify the Lord, first the position of the Lord is specified, and then, how humble, what is our position, we don't have any position, so that humbling of ourselves is there. And third, he asked for a blessing. So Lord Brahma also did the similar thing. We can see last, I think around last two verses only he will exactly pray. He asked the Lord. He says, "Give me the benediction so that I can do the creation." And also the importance is he prays so that he can do the service of the Lord, the mood of the Lord. So that is important. And whenever if you pray in that mood, then definitely Krishna will bless. So that is what Prabhupada says in the purport. It is important that hmm, he cannot fulfill the whims of a non-devotee. Okay, the prayers can be selected only by person who wants to satisfy the Lord in this service. So in this regard, we also remember Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada was there, before he wanted to go to Western countries, his spiritual master had given him order, go and spread this mission, this holy name all over the world. And that was his service. So he was praying to he was there in Radha Damodar temple, and daily he was praying to Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, all six Goswamis he was praying, and to Radha Damodar. So like one of the this thing memories of Srila Prabhupada, it is mentioned, like one devotee had an interview with the person who was a kind of a pujari at Radha Damodar temple when Prabhupada was there. So he was mentioning, one day he was hearing somebody's crying very profusely, the lot of crying sound is coming. And then we went to the terrace and he saw Srila Prabhupada is crying and asking to Rupa Goswami, he's praying. So if you pray, how this verse purport which Srila Prabhupada has mentioned, such prayers can be selected only by person who wants to satisfy the Lord in his service. And then Lord will definitely fulfill all his desires. So Brahma's desire is to create this creation. Why he wants to create? So that, it is a desire of the Lord. All the living entity who wants to enjoy separately from the Lord. So that has to, they need to be, into the creation. And for that, Lord wants to create this. And Brahma, as a service of the Lord, he wants to, do this to satisfy the Lord in his service. And he says, I should not get entangled in this all creation and all those. So that kind of a desires he has, and he prays. So such kind of a prayer will be certainly fulfilled. So that is, and here the word also is very important. Vara Ishvaraha. We have heard the name Varada. Varada. We know that in Kanchipuram there is a deity Varadaraj, who is expert, or who is you know uh, giving a benediction, who is known for giving the benediction. So similarly, yeah, I am the Lord of all benediction. Here it says Vara Ishvaraha. So that regard, we have to understand when we pray for the service of the Lord. So we remember Srila Prabhupada, he used to pray. And also, when one of the similar, also one more pastime, once when one devotee, again in the Prabhupada's memory, these things which I heard, when one of the devotee went to Advaita Acharya's this thing, and he was distributing back to Godhead. And then that Pujari saw, oh, this used to come here, some years back. He used to come here and pray, and he used to cry in the corner. So Srila Prabhupada used to go to Advaita Acharya's place, Shiva Sangan, all those places. He used to go and pray that, I can fulfill the mission of my spiritual master, which is actually the desire of the Supreme Lord. And all those desires will get fulfilled. So that is how yeah. Yes, so we understand this. Yeah. So in this regard, also in this regard, I was, one of the lecture which I was hearing, in which Maharaj was telling, or Guru Maharaj was telling, uh, how the effect of incorrect prayer is also there. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there comes the pastime of incorrect prayer, if you not pray properly. So this comes in Antyalila, CC Antyalila, in the chapter 5, around verse 111. So there is one Brahmana. So he's kind of he's a good poet, but he's not a devotee. and then he is friend of Bhagavad Acharya, I think so. So was associated of Lord, and he wants to present his prayer to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's policy is that nobody can tell any prayers or any composition to him until the moment it is been approved by Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar will first hear the compositions or prayers, and then he will check, if it is as per as the principles, it is as per as this thing of bhakti, or there is no rasabas, everything is fine. Only then that information will be passed on to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is what the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had created a rule. So in that regard, so this pastime talks about how this poet once, after many requests, then Surup Damodar Goswami sat for hearing this, poetry or composition by this Brahmana, and then his Sarup Damodar, let me read from Chaitanya Charitamrita only. So the verse 111, it says, Sarup Damodar Goswami sat down with other devotees to hear the poetry. And then the poet began to read the introductory verse. So then there is in the, all the book, there will be something like an introductory verse based on which the complete this composition will be there. Yeah. So the introductory verse was like this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has assumed the golden complexion. So you want to glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and has become the soul of the body named Lord Jagannath, whose blooming eyes, lotus eyes, were widely expanded. Thus he appeared in Jagannath Puri and brought dull matter to life. May that Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Deva bestow all good fortune upon you. So now, like once, let me read the next verse. When everyone heard the verse, they all commended the poet, but Swarup Damodar Goswami requested him kindly explain the verse. So when the people heard this verse, they were happy. They were kind of because devotees are, they want to appreciate. So that time, so they kind of, but Swarup Damodar, all others were saying, "Oh, very good, very good," So, but yeah, but Swarup Damodar was requesting, "Can you kindly explain this verse?" He was kind of very serious, and then the poet started saying, Lord Jagannath is the most beautiful body, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's exceptionally grave, is the owner of that body. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Nilachal to Jagannath Puri to spiritualize the entire material world. Okay, so everyone was happy, but Sarup Damodar was, kind of unhappy. So, in this regard, do you know like why Lord was Sarup Damodar was not happy? Somebody wants to tell, what is incorrect in this poetry, the poetry which Brahmana has said? Do you see any fault? He says, the Supreme Person of God had assumed the golden complexion and has become the soul of the body of Lord, named Lord Jagannath. Okay, nobody? Yeah, so let me continue. Yeah. So here, Sarup Damodar further explains, he began to speak in anger. Sarup Damodar speaks, "You fool," he said, "you have brought ill fortune upon yourself, for you have no knowledge of the existence of two lords, Jagannath Deva and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, nor you have faith in them. Lord Jagannath is completely spiritual and full of transcendental bliss. You have compared him to a dull, destructible body composed of inert external energy of the Lord." So this poet, to glorify the Lord, he says, the Jagannath is body, but we should understand this Archa Vigraha, Patimanai Shakshas the Brajendra Nandan. So these deities are non-different from Krishna. So that Jagannath is the real Jagannath. So comparing it to be a dull matter is an offense. Yeah, so that is what Sarup Damodar says. You have calculated Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Person of Godhead, in full opulences to be on the level of ordinary human being. Instead of knowing him as a supreme fire, you have accepted him as a spark. So this is one offense, and another offense is you have accepted, yeah, you have compared the this thing as a dull matter. Jagannath as dull matter, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a ordinary, kind of a soul. So because you have committed the offense to Lord Jagannath and Chaitanya Dev Mahaprabhu, you will attain a hellish destination. So here there is an, I know how we can understand. Even this poet wanted to kind of a glorify, but he didn't have the proper knowledge, and then he made a mistake. And so Damodar was not happy with that. Hmm? So Sarup Damodar further says, you are in complete illusion, for you have distinguished between the body and the soul of his lordship, Jagannath or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is a great offense. Because Jagannath or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Krishna's body and Krishna is non-different. It is one and the same. And everything is Sachidananda. No, it is completely eternal, eternal, full of happiness, eternal bliss, and all knowledgeable. Such Chit Anand. It is completely, that is the how Krishna is there. So comparing that, there is a body and soul of a Lord is a offense. So in this regard, that is how it is. So that is the why, this, when we are telling this, when in this shloka, when Lord says, hmm, any human who prays like Brahma and who thus worships me, okay, shall very soon be blessed with the fulfillment of all his desire. So it is that is the reason, Lord says he had to pray like Brahma. Brahma means you have to, because in Brahma Samhita also, the prayers of Lord Brahma, he makes it very clear. That is the reason, that is also one of the important prayer we usually chant whenever there is Abhisheka, or so all those time. So and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself got this what is it? These prayers from the one of the temple, and so also, like, when Brahma prays to the Lord Krishna after this what is it? Brahma Vimohan Leela, and so this Brahma's prayer is quite very important. And also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we will see, like, in this pastime, it will come. Brahma's prayer will come. Yeah. So yeah, because you have committed offense, you are in illusion. At no time there is a distinction between the body and the soul of the Supreme Person of Godhead. His personal identity and his body are made up of spiritual energy. There is no distinction. So this is very important words, which we understand. That is a, like, that is the reason Lord says you have to pray like Brahma, on the lines of Brahma. So that is what we understand. Let me just exactly read this shloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So here it is. ईश्वरेण नाहि काबो देहा देहि वेदा स्वरूप देहा चित आनंद नाहि का वेदा देहा देहि विभागोयम nishware vidyate kavichet. So then it comes a nice prayer. Okay, so here is the nice prayer. So it comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says, "Oh my Lord, I do not see a form superior to you, who are present form of eternal bliss and knowledge. In your impersonal Brahman effulgence in the spiritual sky, there is no occasional change or no deterioration of our internal potency. I surrender unto you because whereas I am proud of my material body and senses, your lordship is the cause of cosmic manifestation, yet you are untouched by the matter." So this verse, which comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj quotes, this from Srimad Bhagavatam. And these are the same, it comes from the same prayer which we are discussing, 3.9.3 and 4. So basically, the same prayer set, it comes, and same is quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This pastime, where the discussion about this thing is there, the correct prayers and incorrect prayers. So going back to the pastime, yeah. Okay, so this is a 3.9.3 and 4. So it is quoted here. And then finally, where Krishna absolute truth of transcendental bliss possesses all six and master of metal energy, the small conditioned soul who is always unhappy is a servant of the metal energy. Hmm? So he gives a detail of what is Krishna. Krishna's supreme person of Godhead, the supreme controller, is always full of transcendental bliss and is accompanied by the potency known as Aladini Samvit. Conditional soul, however, is covered by ignorance, threefold of miseries of all kind of a tribulation. So these all are the prayers comes from this thing, which we are discussing, Lord Brahma's prayer. So they are kind of here, it will come basically. Mm, yeah. So this is from Vishnu Swamis, and this one is yeah, yeah. So going back to our discussion, yeah. So this is from the Brahma's prayers, and then kind of a discussion, and finally, Sarup Damodar says, hmm, yeah, he says you should learn Srimad Bhagavatam. He says if you want to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, then you should approach a self-realized Vaishnava and hear from him. You can do this when you have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he says, write poetry about this. First, you should learn Chaitanya Bhagavatam for Vaishnavas. So Bhagavat Pade, Bhagavat Teristane. So you should learn Bhagavat from a devotee Bhagavat and take shelter of lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you don't do that, then it is all waste. That is what is. Finally, later also to so Damodar quotes are another meaning also for this. Yeah, but this is a pastime how the incorrect prayers are there and how it has to be correct. You can learn it when you are, for example, if how we can respect a Vaishnava when a Vaishnava comes first to our place, or basically inviting a Vaishnava to our place, and when the Vaishnava comes, speaking nice words and giving him asana to sit, giving water, and then offering him nice prasadam. So that is how we can make him happy. And more than that, we can make him happy when we hear his discussion about Supreme Personality of Godhead, past time when hear from the Vaishnava. And even more that, how we can please the Vaishnavas or Guru is when whatever we hear from Guru or Vaishnava, when we pass this information to others, that is what is said in the previous verse. If you see, when we are discussing this verse number 39, in the the Lord says that yeah, so he says, yeah, in the purport it comes, sorry, yeah, I am very much pleased by your description of me in terms of transcendental qualities which appear mundane to the mundaners. I am grant you all benediction and desire to glorify all the planets by your activities. A pure devotee of Lord Brahma and those in the line of disciplic succession always desire that the Lord glory be known all over the universe by each and every one of the living entities. So this is what the desire of Lord Brahma and those in the line of disciplic succession. huh? Like Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. huh? So their desire is that the Lord be known. So Lord's glory should be known all over the world. That is was the desire of when Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Vinod, so Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he had written. So he was the first person who written English commentary, and then he sent it out of India. He had sent it to Canada. The book which Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had written the commentary, and he has sent that book. And that was his desire. He had told one day that day will come when the people from all over the world will come to Mayapur, and they will be all together singing Jai Sachinandan Gaura Hari. They will be singing. So he mentions that, that was his desire. And similarly, Bhakti Saraswati Thakur had the same desire. He told Srila Prabhupada, "Okay, why don't you go to the, actually, this was his standing instruction. He had told this not only for Prabhupada, for everybody, but Prabhupada was the one who had taken it to heart. Other were thinking, might be when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, Prithvi Chache Nagradigram, it might be meaning India. India is kind of a Prithvi. But Srila Prabhupada told his desire and his understanding was there. This information has to be spread all over the world. This Krishna consciousness has to be spread all over the world. And for that, so many years he was kind of preparing, reading all Bhagavatam, writing the commentary, kind of, and at the, when even at the old age, he traveled to the Western countries single-handedly, single-handed, without any support from government or any other institution. Not even his god brothers, were much of support for him when he was even asking for a small mridanga or all those, or a brahmachari to help him. There was not much support, but still single-handedly, by depending upon the holy name, he spread this, the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. So that is a desire of all the Vaishnavas. So yeah, we'll go back to our discussion. Yeah. Correct. So we hear how we should be kind of learn from Vaishnavas how to pray. So the best thing is that we can pray like the standard prayers which are given by the acharyas. So that is a kind of and also we see the three part, like how also we understand, like sometime uh, uh, for example, one of the lecture which I was hearing, so devotee was mentioning, like sometime we have this of thing telling, I am the most fallen, but we should understand we are nothing, we are not even the most fallen. Even the most is kind of having a kind of a pride, because Hiranyakashipu is a kind of a most fallen or something like that. So we don't even come in that category. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So mm, yeah. So let us just see if there is anything very meaning in that. This sloka. Yeah. Mm. So we understand. Yeah. There are traditionally pious activities. All the so many things are there, and that can be only beneficial when they lead to satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. If the Supreme Lord is satisfied, only then all this, whatever socialism or philanthropism, nationalism, anything is there, that can be of any use. But the devotees know the secret. So what is the secret? If the Lord is happy, then everything is success. So Arjuna in the battlefield, he was satisfied. He didn't want kind of a kingdom, and he says also, Lord, I don't want to fight. But he understood Krishna's satisfaction, because Krishna has arranged this, Kurukshetra war, and he will be satisfied by fighting. Then Arjuna left his satisfaction, and he wanted to satisfy the Lord, and then he did a fight. Also, we know that this pastime of how when Dhruvasa Muni had come, he had come with the 60,000 disciples, and these Pandavas, they didn't had anything, and this Draupadi, she had this patra, akshay patra, kind of akshakal. Yeah, so that kind of it can give food for unlimited people, but once the Draupadi has that, then it will not produce anymore for the given day. Next day it will produce. So she had already taken, and there was not anything akshapatra, it was kind of empty. But Krishna came, and she was praying to Krishna, and then Krishna came, and then the small one particle of food was there, or small rice was there, and Krishna had that. And Krishna told, Krishna Tushta, Jagat Tushta, and Krishna was happy, and all the stomach of all these, 60,000 disciples of Durvas Muni, all were filled, so we understand that if Krishna is satisfied, the complete world is satisfied, and the devotees know how to, what is the secret. Secret is to satisfy the Lord. Okay, and how we can do that, satisfying the Lord? So Krishna says, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has shown, we should chant the holy name. By chanting the holy name, Krishna will be more satisfied. So that is the reason devotees, chant, and it is kind of the best prayers. So, Prabhupada is given the meaning of this, as it is a cry of a child for his mother, and it is like, "Oh Radha, hey Krishna, please engage me in your service." This is what Prabhupada has given as a meaning, and that is what this prayer is. We always pray to the Lord that He engages us in His service, and we chant like, Chaitanya Charitamrita. It comes, Onyo Bhagyavan Jiva, Brahmand Brahmite, Un Bhagyavan Jiva, Krishna Guru Kripa Krishna Paye, Bhakti Lata Bij. So it says, so Brahmand Brahmite. So when we say Brahmand Brahmite, so in one Brahmand or in one universe, if a living entity comes, is stuck for the lifetime of Brahma. Till that Brahma is there, or that Brahma goes back to Godhead, goes back to Krishna, or that Brahma dies. Till then, he will be there in the same universes. He will be taking different life. Sometime in this animal's body, sometime that animal body, but he is within the same Brahmand. Okay, so but the shloka says Brahmand Bhumite. So many Brahmand you have crossed. So that means, so many time immemorial time. The living entities going around until the moment he doesn't get this, Bhagyavan Jeev. He gets a seed. This Bhakti Lata Beach gets a seed uh, from the Guru and Kripa of Krishna. He gets a beach, and then what has to happen? This bija has to be daily kind of a watered. And how we water? Like, we follow all this regulatory principle, and then daily we will chant this holy name. Given the prescribed rounds, like 16 rounds which Prabhupada has prescribed. So that is the minimum which Prabhupada has told. If somebody wants, the maximum is a Kirtanya Sadahari. You can always chant the holy name, but minimum 16 down, what Prabhupada has prescribed. So by this chanting, and hearing all these other processes, it's like, watering the seed. So seed is given, and then you daily water it, and then what we do, we protect it from what is it? From destruction. Sometime, like, it is heard, like, if there is a garden and if elephant comes, it tramples a complete garden. So we protect also from the Vaishnava apradhas, which are like a madden elephant offense. So kind of we protect our bhakti lata, and then this bhakti lata will grow and grow and grow, and finally it will pierce the discovering of this universe. This Vrijra river and all those dhams, and finally it will go to the lotus feet of the God. It will go to the lotus feet of this Bhakti Lata beach, or this Bhakti Lata, go to the lotus feet of the Lord. And then what it will do? It will flower. It will do a flower. And what are the flower? The flowers are like, the bhavas, different bhavas, which will, the pure devotees achieve. And finally, what we will get? A fruit of a pure devotion. So that is what the aim of devotee is there. And, the devotees want to, go back to Godhead, to Krishna, and for that, we have to, yeah, chant the holy name. Also, in this regard, like, how we can remember, like, how the effect of this holy name is there, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he manifests, like when he goes to the Gaya. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, or, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, we see till the beginning, he is not so much interested. He does not show his that expansion, where he's fully ecstatic about the Lord. So that he manifests once he goes to the Gaya. He goes to the Gaya and he meets Ishwarapuri, and after meeting Ishwarapuri, he gets kind of from like initiated by the Ishwara Puri, and then he goes to that place which is Kanyanshala. He's maddened from the separation of the Lord, and then he goes to Kanya. He's just trying to go to Vrindavan, and then he goes to Kanyanshala, and then he where the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and Radharani is there, and then he sees Lord has come there, and then Lord comes and embraces Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he from then actually when he comes back to uh, Mayapur or Navdeep, he tells how I got this devotional service, or how I got mad into the this thing of the Lord, so separation of the Lord. Then he tells all those like he goes to Kanaya Shala, and then the Lord comes there and meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he's feeling the separation from the you know uh, the Lord. So that is he kinds of mentioned that. Mm, mm. So we can understand. So similarly, what is when we pray, what is the thing we should ask? Whether we ask for kind of I want to get a good marks in exam, or I want to get a good job or something like that. So these things are kind of a material. So this is a thing we can ask for that. For if your devotees are kind of stuck in some difficulties, so we can ask for that also. But that is not the ultimate thing. That is not the correct thing to ask from the Lord. So in this regard, that's the story of how Markandeya Rishi. So he meets Lord, and yeah, Lord, ask anything you want to know, any benediction he wants. So he wants to know how this, what is your Maya? Please tell me, explain what is the Maya. So we understand they like this Maya is a material energy of the Lord. So asking for something of this material world, like for example, I want this money, or I want this thing, good position, everything which is regarded in this material world is kind of connected with the Maya only. It is just a material illusion only. So then, like Markandeya Rishi asks, and then the Lord benedicts him, and then he goes and he gets that he's there sitting in his ashram, and suddenly there is a flood, and then complete flood is there, and he is in the water, and completely is going into the sea, and then in that sea he is drowning and coming up, and then there he can see one banyan tree is there, and that one of the leaf Krishna is there, and then that famous photo of Krishna, which we usually see, Krishna is thumbing, sucking his thumb, Krishna is sucking his thumb, is that image is there, and suddenly Krishna inhales, and everything, all the water, everything, kind of is sucked, or he is also sucked inside the Lord. Then he suddenly sees he's there in the ashram, his ashram back. So similarly, again he sees everything again. Again, is there flood, and again the Lord, kind of this. So basically, we understand. So basically, shows how this Maya, or the illusion of the Lord, works, to Rishi, Markandeya Rishi. So we understand that, this material world is this energy or Maya Shakti is very difficult to overcome. It's not possible for uh, living entities like us to, kind of get over this Maya, because Maya is very, very powerful. And how we can get over the Maya? Only when we take the shelter of a Maya Dish, the master of the Maya. So Krishna says, you know, this Maya is my energy. So he says, in Bhagavad Gita, he says this. There is a sloka which I just, Mam Maya Dhurattaiva. So this my energy, Mam Maya, so is my energy. It's so very difficult to overcome. But if you take my shelter, so if you take the shelter of the Lord, then or His holy name, then we can easily overcome this Maya. Hmm? So that is what the Lord says. For the devotees who have taken the shelter of the Lord, the Maya is like like the big ocean of this material ocean. It's just like a water in the footprint of calf. Calf's footprint will be there, and that whatever water is there, something like that. but only if you take the shelter of the Lord and His holy name. So in this regard, we also see the pastime of Haridas Thakur. So in Brahma's pastime, like same Brahmaji is kind of a illusion. Like we see how when he sees you know like one of the verse which one of the lecture which I was hearing, Lord is tending calves, and because he's not qualified to not yet qualified to tend cows. So the purport, or basically it is said, the father of Brahma. This Lord Krishna is basically Narayana from or Garbhodakshi Vishnu, from where Brahma comes. So this Krishna is the father of this Brahma also, and for him the people think he's not yet qualified to take care of cows. He tending the calves basically. So we similarly there, so Brahma's pastime, he is kind of an illusion. The small boy who's taking care of these cows, calves, and playing with these village boys, I mean to say covered boys, covered girls. So is he my same master? Is it the same Narayana or Vishnu whom I worship? So he steals away everything and all the calves and all things, and then then he sees, comes back and sees everything is same, everywhere all those boys are there, everybody is there. Then he goes back and checks if those are there, and then he comes back. Then he understands, boss, he's my really boss. And then he shows him all the this covered boys turn into Narayana, because that is what he knows. Brahmaji knows like that only, and then he understands. So same Haridas, Brahma gets illusion in the pastime of Haridas Thakur. He's not get the Maya herself comes to entice him, but he's not kind of delusion by Maya. He's because he has taken the shelter of the holy name. So similarly, we can take a shelter of the holy name, and if you ask anything in this material world, it's not of use. The best thing what we can ask is, like how Hanumanji, the Lord asked Hanumanji, "What you want, Hanuman? You have satisfied me most. Hanuman, do you want a liberation? You want to merge with me?" So Hanumanji said, "No, no, I don't want all this. If I get merged with you, where is the devotion? I don't want all this. It is kind of I don't want money, anything." So then see what's like because he's in the mode of dasya. He's always like I'm like your son. I just want to hug you. So then Lord kind of hugs Hanumanji. So we see this, many of the places we see this deity where Lord Ramachandra is hugging Hanuman. So like that, we always desire a spiritual desire from the Lord. Like in the previous verse which we were seeing, the desire of all the devotees, or all the in the line of devotee, is that this holy name or this Krishna conscious, and those in the line of disciplic succession always desire that Lord be known all over the universe by each and every one of the living entities. So that is a desire of all the devotees. We should ask a spiritual desire. So when we are praying to the Lord, so that is what today's discussion, nice purport Srila Prabhupada has given, and very nice shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. So any queries? Any doubts or something you want to add? Some comments? So thank you for giving me this opportunity, and it is so nice words. Yeah. Okay. So if there is no comment or no question, so we will try to end our session here. Hare Krishna. We'll end our session here, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, if the devotees can ask their questions, otherwise we can end the session.
Yeah, I don't see any questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.